these trading cards are not meant just as a thing that is like not a financial effort from our side. The spirit also behind the trading cards is actually to make a tapestry of the whole history of the arcade era. So that from 1972 or maybe even earlier up to now and into the future, we will document all the most wonderful things that have happened in the history of gaming. All the most wonderful people who ever emerged on the scene to really plant their flag and do something that helped, the thing grow and brought more fun and more happiness to other people by spreading, the age of the video games. By just trying to capture all these little snippets, all these little vignettes from history that otherwise might be overlooked and forgotten. And history of historians would remember by putting them on cards. So maybe someday in the future, this set of trading cards will almost be like a deck of flashcards that maybe someday in a future schoolroom will say, okay, study your Twin Galaxies trading cards, and on Monday I'm going to test you, and I want you to tell me 100 different unique things you learned that history might have overlooked if the card hasn't been made. So that's the spirit from which I was the main initiator of it, and all the people who've been working with me, like Grace is here, wherever she's hiding. Are doing this, so that's the spirit of the trading cards, to actually truly make something that documents the whole history of what we're all about. Because here today, all the stuff we're doing is a part of this history. And someday, 100 years from now, someone's gonna finally break Mark Keel's Donkey Kong thing. Where's Mark? Oh, there he is. That's one of the things I've said in numerous talks, that this is a big deal. This stuff here is immortal. All this stuff we're doing here is immortal. And someday, Mark is going to get his Donkey Kong Jr. score so high, and we've talked about this, and we both agree that this is going to happen. It's going to become so high that for the next person to break up by even 100 points, they're going to have to play 2,000 or 5,000 games or more, because the investment is so big by that time that people may not even bother for a couple generations. But 80 years from now, you'll see it on CNN. And today, June 12th, the year 2096, someone broke the 80-year-old world record of Donkey Kong Jr. that's been held by Mark Hill for all this time. So that's what this is all about, documenting the history of our history. Because what we're doing right now is that tapestry of history that future generations are going to be reading about, thinking about, and remembering. And a whole bunch of them are going to wish they could have been here. And that's just the way history works. But we are the ones who are here, and that's why it's important we actually do something about it and honor Devin and Chris and John, who can't be in here. And all the members of 1984. And the people who have come here to support the players, who are the users, and your data today, the ones who believe in this, who come here to support you in doing this, we're going to honor them first with trading cards. So, I am now going to show you the different awards we brought here. And these beautiful frames were supplied by the people, by the people who own the arcade. And let them come and warn me that I'm going to break something good. So let's start by having the legendary Shane Welty come up here and give us an award. Shane Welty is on a trading card from the ancestry. Shane Welty was one of the people who figured out how to put the whole trading card set together. He was one of the, this is an example of one of these little stories of the video game age. We're producing the trading card set, and he and a pal of his figured out how to put it all together, compile the decks, and do it. And so it was what I thought a very interesting fact that some 13-year-old, were you 12 then? He's 12 years old, figured out how to actually help us develop these trading cards. We put him on a trading card. Later on, he's going to have to get a world record. And then maybe we'll make another card for him too. Well, you got it upside down. It goes this way. Okay. Do you have anything to say? Just kidding you. Anything to say, Shane? Say it. By the way, he's also Luigi today. So give us your Luigi.
Hello, it's me, Luigi.
Awesome. Shane also lives in my house. I'm a landlord, and he's one of my tenants. So he's like family now. And we have an award. There's Mark Keel here. Just it. I know you're here. Every ceremony, I make one mistake. This was this ceremony's mistake. Mark Keel's picture's not on here. I somehow managed to put the card on here for the actual arcade. So, anyway, Mark is the world record holder on Donkey Kong Jr. And, like I said, he's probably going to hold it for a while until he himself decides to break it. Then after that, who knows what's going to happen. I know Billy could probably give you a run, but Billy's really busy. Billy, I mean, he goes through so much stuff, you know. But anyway, anything to say, Mark?
Oh, just thanks to 1984, thanks for coming out.
Oh no, I'm honored to be here. This is so amazing, this arcade and the people here. A lot of enthusiasm. And that's really what makes this work for me, the enthusiasm. This, to me, is more fun than anything. So Mark, thank you very much. And you're one of the biggest supporters here. This here is one of the most extraordinary people in the video game industry. She is one of the founders of the International Video Game Hall of Fame. Her name is Elizabeth Bollinger, or you can just call her Kitty McScratch. She's famous all over the internet as Kitty McScratch. She also is a very big, very devoted activist who is right now scheduling her second grassroots gaming expo in Ottumwa. Because, like I said, the group that's in this room is special. They're not here just to play the games. They're here because they want to spiritually support the whole process and just make this thing happen. Why don't you come up here, Elizabeth? And not only that, Elizabeth was selected by the Guinness Book of World Records as one of their stars. And it's going to be in the next book that comes out. She's selected as one of their stars because she holds more dancing game world records than anybody else at this time.
And in the 2012 book, they named me most prolific dancing game holder.
That's great.
And we just verified another 46 world records for Liz this week, so... I have over 100 records on dancing.
That's amazing. I have a personal question for you. Did these come off?
Yeah.
You're not surgically implanted?
No, not yet.
Okay, stand right there. The other guy, the other person who was responsible for the Grassroots Gaming Expo is her husband. I like to think that Liz is the boss. Josh. He does all the work and she's the leader. Josh is also one of the founders of the International Video Game Hall of Fame. We're both from Ottumwa, by the way, which is video game capital of the world, Grand Central, whatever it is. And Josh and Elizabeth are working together to put on the next Grassroots Gaming Expo, which is a festival for gamers everywhere. So you guys take the floor. What do you got to say?
Well, I want to thank the Galaxies for doing all this, because I think it's really awesome. And I definitely enjoy seeing the other gamers getting recognized and other organizations as well, such as this push, which I think is amazing.
It is. It's amazing.
I really like this push a lot.
Elizabeth has been around enough arcades to know that this is amazing.
Oh yeah,
This is very
completely.
Pretty much said everything.
He's the shy one.
Galaxies, 1984.
Okay, thank you very much. This here is, by the way, Elizabeth, this is for your brother who doesn't appear to be here. So her brother is a world record holder, you know, verified by Twin Galaxies, and he is on trading card number 223. So we're going to have to start calling him from now on, not Nathan Lester, but 223. So you can see that. Can you imagine what a life like that like? She answers the phone. Oh, it's for 223. Are you here? And she's number 51. And Josh, you're number 146.
I do want to say, my brother did want to be here very badly. He had work, so he wasn't able to make it, but I'm definitely really proud of him myself. I think one of the reasons why I'm as good a gamer as I am is because we spent all of our years, both me and him and my mom and dad, battling each other on video games, which made us work harder to get better at it.
That's for him. And these frames were supplied by the owners in 1984, so that's a wonderful, wonderful contribution that made it. They really look good, don't they?
Yeah, well, yes, definitely. Thank you.
These are the people who inspired the whole thing to happen. I can't even remember how you worded it, John Hunter and Catherine. How do you get up here? Okay. They are on card number 69. So let me explain this card. They gave me, personally, a Make Tracks game last year at the Grassroots Gaming Expo. And I thought, my God, that is so cool. And I thought about that. And then I realized that, well, this is an incredible gift. But what's more amazing about it was the level of renovation, the level of loving care that they put behind making this old arcade game a work of art, and truly an amazing gift for me personally. And then I thought further about it, that I realized that, wow, this really is the launching pad for a trading card that would essentially grab the whole spirit of arcade preservation right now. Because these two people, like the founders of the 1984 arcade, don't do this because they want to line their pockets as much as they want to do this for fun and preserve our arcade history, our arcade legacy. So I made a card that has them on the cover, giving me my track game. That's titled Historic Preservation. And I summarized on the card that not only did they go through incredible efforts to renovate that arcade game they gave me, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. That behind him are thousands and thousands of other people who jump through hoops to spend an incredible amount of money to bring back to life our arcade legacy, to make sure that the heritage is not lost by completely renovating games that are, would be normally you'd expect them to be thrown away. So, in that spirit, I issued that card, and I'm very proud of them. I'm very pleased that they did it because I got to make tracks out of it. Now, it's Terry's birthday. Terry, get up here. Terry, do you live in Pell or do you live in Tumble? Tumble, okay. So how many miles did you guys drive? I drove 360 to be here.
Like 5.5 hours.
Yeah. So I was going to say, Terry Bertlow is the world record holder. In the trading card set, there's actually famous people like Nolan Bushnell, the founder of Atari, Ralph Baer, the father of video games, Tim Schafer, David Perry, Warren Spector. We just put on a card Warren Davis, who invented Qbert. We're doing Alan McNeil's card right now. He invented Berserk. Franz Londiger's on a card. It's not my card. He did Crystal Castles. And the lady who invented Centipede just said, yep, I want to be in this card set. So there's famous people. There's world champions. Terry is one of those world champions. I mean, you would have thought that the card set would be about world champions. Like baseball, it's about Mickey Mantle and Sandy Koufax. But we really are trying to make the card that's such a thing that it captures the world champions and all the people who played a role behind making this whole thing what it is. Terry, you have lots of world records. You're incredible. No, don't interfere with it. Stop that.
Oh!
Wow.
Drawing card number 1. You have enough to be on card.
How many?
He's on card 152.
Oh, okay.
You have about 5 records?
No, right around 30.
What do I know?
And I've still got 2 tapes to submit. They're completely full.
What game?
See here, I went for, I didn't get the record, but I was get on the scoreboard. I went for the 5-man run on like Mario Brothers for points. There's some more rock band stuff, and then just a bunch of little odds and ends. Right now I'm working on Miss Pac-Man for Sega Genesis, and then I own arcade machines as well. I have a Rockwell Eyes machine, and the record on that is like, I think, 20 million. And it was set like an 83, so one of these days, you never know, I might go for that, see what happens. So, and I also want to say too, I'm also a part of the Grassroots Gaming Expo. Last year I ran tournaments for Josh and Liz. This year they approached me and asked me if I wanted to be the classic tournament director. So what that means is I'm in charge of all the tournaments this year. So if you guys can make it to Ottumwa in October, come on down. It's an awesome, awesome event.
At the Grassroots Gaming Expo. Stand up with me while I give the awards to the actual arcade owners?
Sure. Richard.
We need the camera over it.
You're going to do the filming.
Oh, yeah. Stand this thing right here.
No, don't touch anything.
Just stand right here, right? Grace Noki is my boss.
He keeps saying that. He doesn't obey me, though.
That's true. But she's a very wise, smart person who does a lot of good, wonderful things for a lot of people. So I'm very honored that Grace and I together are going to now give the awards to the people who founded the 1984 arcade. I'm sorry that I've been so long-winded, but you see how excited I get about all this. Because everybody has some fun thing that I want to bring out to everybody's attention. So to me, it's always worth the effort. So we have an award for all founders of the 1984 arcade. And let's start with the amazing Chris Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah! Chris is the one who chose this green. and when I was telling Scott here, a good friend Scott, that if he had intellectually told me ahead of time, I'm going to do a wall green, I would have said, that's not going to work. But this green works. And it's amazing. I guess it's because the green works is because this is a vibrant kind of energy, and that's a vibrant green. So it fits. Part of the continuing motif, I guess, whatever. So anyway, congratulations.
Thank you.
So we hand these all out, so we're going to get the big
Oh, okay.
So I could do John last.
I'll take over for him. I think Shane was going to go take over.
Shane's got you covered, Devin.
Yeah, Shane can cover. Yeah.
Oh, no, they went to go get Lincoln.
Yeah, but I think they were. I think they were going to cover for him.
That's Scottish, not Mac.
I have no idea.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
They're asking about your last name, John.
That is how it's done.
So we gave John an award. We gave him for most creative spelling, most creative misspelling of a Scottish name. When I was getting ready to spell his name on the award, I kept looking at it again and again. So I went through all my emails. I went back to the original card to see what you guys had approved, and finally I concluded, well, it looks like you're approving the spelling, but I've never seen that particular spelling. So, so I decided to go with it. It turns out that is how you spell your name.
7 generations Irish as well. We're in Scotland and everything. But yeah, thank you for spelling it right. Dad will not take offense to this now. He has done it on many,
You're telling us that you got something back from Barack Obama?
No, actually, President Bush. Dad was in the legislature and and the President sent Dad a thank you note because he came down to Marshfield where we live for the 4th of July, and he sent a thank you note to Dad and spelled our name wrong. So it is framed on the wall with Dad marking out the name and writing it correctly on the letter from the President.
Thank
She was in St. Louis. She actually just got back, but she's not going to make it.
St. Louis.
She was in St. Louis, yeah.
So Jason and your brother Devin in Lincoln. Once you get up here too.
Cool.
You got to get in the middle of it.
So that's
There you go.
Which way that's it?
Sure. There's a lot of different T, no T, H, minus H, any way that you want to spell
I'm
it.
used to the T.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing the T. Which is my spelling. Okay, here are two of our more well-known members of the 1984 basketball squad. And why don't you guys say something? I'm out of words.
I'm excited that you're here. So
I'm more excited that I'm here too, than you're excited that I'm here. It's very cool.
Oh, I think all this is awesome. So.
I can tell you it was inspiring to hear you talk about, the museum, the recognition. 40 years later, this is still a part of our everyday life. It's careers for many people, hobbies for others, but when we started this place, it was really our hope that maybe we could break even and not dip into our own pockets too much to cover the rent. But that was really our plan, and if what we ended up with was a really cool arcade for us to play in and our friends and families, then that's what would happen. And so to be here 7 years later, Walter Day, world champions coming to visit us, I think is just a really exciting moment for me. It gives me chills right now. Really cool.
By the way, Lincoln, what you said was very profound. Because the huge responsibility you guys have as the founders of this, really, even more than arcade owners, it's almost like you're museum curators. Yeah. You're museum curators. And you see what they're doing on the wall. That's the continuing spirit of being a museum curator. You're finding lots and lots and lots of stuff that fills in the gaps, that explains the story more. And more items to preserve. So maybe 4 or 5 years from now, you won't be able to see any green paint anymore because there'll be so much stuff on the walls as you accumulate more and more, and people will donate things. Because that's one beautiful thing about it. When people see, when the rest of the nation realizes the spirit that you really embody here, they're going to get all sorts of donations of things, different things to hang on the wall, not only from 1984 per se, but that era when the arcade was the most amazing thing that happened to any of us. So our last contestant on Dancing with the Arcade Owners is Amy and Devin Durham, brother, sister-in-law to Jason and
And also, by the way, Chris is my brother.
As well.
So it's all very much a family affair.
I'm not related.
We got a business with all the people you're not supposed to get in business with.
Okay, well, this is very, very cool. So somehow, since I interacted with you most, Devin, on this, I got this crazy idea that you're almost like a spokesman for the tour. So what do you say?
Well, first off, I'd really like to thank me. And I think I'm on there more than once, so I need to thank myself more than once. And then there's Amy, and also me.
I think you got those confused. You're supposed to thank her.
Yeah, it's alphabetical.
There you go.
As some of you, probably most of you know, there are 7 of us that are the ones that got this thing started. And we're really incredibly lucky in that there's not any one of us that would work. This would not have worked if it was one of us. I can't really think of anyone we could pull out of the mix and go, that person's not going to be here anymore, and it still continue to function. So we just lucked into that. As Lincoln has said, we're close enough to each other to care about what goes on, but not so close that we've murdered each other yet, which often happens in places like this. And again, 7 years, I can't believe it.
where when we started it, it was a whim, like he was saying. It was, if we break rent, we're going to be thrilled. I will say that at the end of the first weekend when we had made our rent money, I was almost thinking, well, maybe I should have done this by myself.